order. Buhl City Council meeting, Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. Mr. Jeffries, will you please take the roll?
Councilor Hadrava.
Here.
Councilor Keeley.
Here.
Councilor Loeffler.
Here.
Councilor Towner.
Here.
Mayor Carter.
Here.
All are here, quorum is present, we may conduct business.
Thank you, sir. I'd ask everybody join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Do we have any changes to the agenda as presented?
We do
Mr.
not.
Jeffries? Okay. Thank you. With that, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
All motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Agenda is approved. Reports from department heads.
I just have a few short things this evening to speak of. First off, just heard today, pleased to announce that we had applied for a CEDA grant. This is for the child care initiatives. We have been awarded that grant. I have absolutely no details except congratulations for this award. Details will be forthcoming. So, we will do some child care services initiatives this upcoming year. Also, everybody should know that the local board of local board of adjustments and equalization, LBAE, that meeting will be, from St. Louis County's perspective, at the Buhl Senior Center on April 23rd at 10 a.m. 10 o'clock in the morning. This is where you have the opportunity to come in and discuss with the county assessor the valuations on property for this upcoming year. So we will announce again several times before that, but April 23rd, 2024 at 10 o'clock at the Senior Center will be that LBAE meeting. Just a quick comment regarding the state. The legislature will go into session beginning next week. A couple things to expect to come out of this is last year there was a significant change in LGA, local government aid, and some additional amounts given statewide. Do not expect that at all this year. It is not likely to happen whatsoever. Also, the legislature is expected to focus on housing, and infrastructure work for housing will be part of their conversations. Also, there are some folks who are feeling that next year already they're predicting a deficit, so they're trying to minimize the impact of that going into this year. So they have a pretty cute way of talking about their reverse allocation, or however they're trying to describe their projection of thinking they're not going to have a surplus, but that's their feeling going in this year. And back to housing for a second. I believe there will, early on in the session, there will be a proposal that will say that housing project proposals will be accepted even if needed infrastructure is not yet available to support it. So, thinking about future residential or housing concerns, keep it in your minds, because you could make some bigger planning without having the infrastructure in place yet, and now they'll allow that to happen. Also, the final thing will be that it is a bonding year, but the bonding amount is far, far, far less than it was last year. And the governor has already put out his wish list of where he wants to see that money go. Where he wants the money to go is more than the bonding money that's there. So who knows where all of those conversations are going to end up. But it's expected that all of the bonding money will be used up. All the available bonding money is gonna be used up, and moving into next year, there's gonna be zero carryover for that. That's what I have for some information items this evening.
Thank you for that. So they're projecting a deficit on the state level?
For 2025 fiscal year.
Interesting. Excellent, thank you, sir. Moving on to citizens forum. Anybody like to speak tonight?
We have Mr. Jim Matthews, who is here this evening and would like to address us. Mr. Matthews?
Welcome,
Hi, I'm
sir.
Jim Matthews. Hi to everybody here. I'm here to talk to you about Clink's Way and the paving project for that. And I live on Clink's Way. I'm actually the only resident of Clink's Way. And I'm just gonna read from my script here so I kind of stay on course and not get all, on tangents. All right, so I consider this a contract with the city between myself and the city of Buhl that street get paved. And that's due to the fact that it was included in the purchase of the property. So this was verbiage at the time. It was a promise that when the lots that were there, the homes were built, the city would have the street finished, the wear coat put on. And so, I mean, if you don't want to call it a contract, it's at least a binding agreement, which has gone past verbal, and I'm going to give examples of that. Now, I purchased my properties in 2018, and the original promise was the wear coat for the street would be done after the homes were built, and we were told that there would not be additional assessment for paving the road because the cost was part of the purchase price of the property. And in fact, what they said was really what I was paying for the properties was for that infrastructure, water, gas, the improvements that were made to that land. And so there would be no additional tax, levied against the, or assessment against the property. Aside from that, paving Clink's Way was discussed during following council meetings. July 12th of 2022, also on August 16th of 2022. At that time, Mayor Carter, you were council member, and were in attendance at both of those meetings. And there was also a published City Hall news for the third quarter of 2022 noting projects, capital improvement projects that were yet to be finished and scheduled for completion, and in which Clink's Way was mentioned. So there's a number of cases of this, and I didn't go really far back, just enough to give you some examples that have been documented that this is a project that somehow now has been forgotten about. So there's been no mention of this work during the 2023 year of city meetings, council meetings, nothing at least on video. I haven't gone back and read any transcripts of anything that you've done, but I don't think that's really necessary. It's already been proven that it's a project that was slated and intended, but now seems to have been dropped. All right, so what I'm requesting is confirmation from the council as a whole that this work is assigned to Jamnik Engineering for review, including repair to a failed portion of the gutter system that runs alongside the road. There's a section that has sunk over time. I'm not sure when that road was done, but it was many years before I purchased property there. But and also to have the final paving, and which was agreed upon by the city. So this work is overdue, and I would hope it be completed this year. It's been pushed off a number of times, and I kind of let it slide because my neighbor that kind of shares Clink's Way He wasn't really done with his home yet. Well, it's all done. It's all done and said. There's no more heavy equipment moving in and out of it.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask? What's your assessment of the condition of that? From what I understand, just the base coat was put down. Is that correct?
Yes.
Just like how Woodbridge was in that condition. Also, that far.
Pretty much the
East
same
block.
shape, yeah.
Okay.
Clint's Way is not in as bad of condition as Woodbridge.
Okay.
There was hardly any traffic on Clink's Way except the front end loader in the winter piling snow here and there. So it's had deterioration because of puddling that has been persistent for, quite a few years now, probably since that first layer was put in. But, other than that, it doesn't seem to be suffering the way Woodbridge is.
Yeah. Oh, obviously Woodbridge receives a lot more traffic. John, is that included in the work to be
Well, it's
performed this
not in the
summer?
contract with Masabi, no. And then we talked about this a little bit last fall, I think we could just update the council with a cost estimate, what it's gonna take to do that. Put the work on Clink's Way. Give you
Yeah.
a number to work with anyways on how you wanna proceed.
It's pretty obvious thank you for being so well informed on it and bringing documentation. That should be paved. Council?
Yeah.
John, you were aware of all of that? All the information he brought to the table tonight, you were aware of all that?
When they built the project?
Yeah, and the agreements that they made?
I don't recall. I mean, remember when the project was done, I don't know exactly what was,
Right.
talked about a lot of different options on how to get things done.
And-
The intent was not to put the workhorse on until, developments or homes were built in there, so.
Well, at this point, all the developable residential property is developed, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and it was on the punch list, right? No, it wasn't?
Not the same project, Councilor Loeffler.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that's what he was saying, that it was.
It's my opinion that it's been pushed off and then now ultimately forgotten about. Originally, they discussed having it paved when they were repaving all the roads after the sewer water capital improvement. But again, in fairness, I let it slide because, the homes weren't completely built. Mine was done, but the other house was not, so I just kind of let it slide. But now this year, with no mention of it through city business, I wanted to make you aware that it's been.
And thank you for that. Yeah, that needs to be taken care of. So,
So there's no documentation other than like a gentleman's handshake on this, or there is documentation somewhere?
Somebody may have made notes at some point of what the intention was. I haven't seen it. This was all done on good faith,
Okay.
and then it turned more towards, being documented proof that the intention of the city is to repave the road or finish paving the road.
And if we go back and watch a couple of these meetings, we'll hear some of this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just,
I mean, even if they didn't agree to it in writing or even verbally, if it's only the base coat,
Yeah,
should
be
finish
done.
it.
Yes, absolutely.
oh yeah.
It absolutely should be done, yes.
Could I say something? I have a paper that shows for our road, Woodbridge and Clink's Way, all of these projects are supposed to be, it seemed like it was all into one lump sum. I do have a paper which is showing.
Yeah, I just wanna, I wanna educate myself too, so that's why I'm
Right,
asking.
but I mean, it mentioned Clink's Way along with Woodbridge, Clink's Way, I believe up at the park, from Robert Street to Franklin, yeah. It's, I think all of that is mentioned on the sheet of paper I've got.
Can you,
So I don't know
If
if
we can
it's.
get a copy of that,
Well, I
if you
think-
can, I mean.
Yeah,
I've got it
please.
at home. I've got it at
Yeah.
home. I mean, it was my understanding this was all of it together. I don't
Well, you
know.
would think it would be, but, you know.
And Clink's Way is listed on there.
Yeah, I think that was that earlier one that you were showing.
When I came up
Yeah.
and I was questioning about the road getting done
Mhm.
last year.
Yeah, and I think there
Because
were,
I'm on
I know there were
Woodbridge
other
and-
changes made to that one since your copy. I know there were other changes made to that, to the final project, so.
Right,
I'm-
right.
I'm assuming that
But
fell off.
I did bring, yeah, I do have that paper showing, and like I said, Clink's Way is listed on there. It's not really giving you much information, I don't
Right.
think. It's just listing the projects that.
Yep.
And I'd like to add that Sherry's right, there was a drawing that was sent out to, advise the city citizens of the projects, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked around for that, but
Except
Well-
it does exist.
can I ask you, any documentation you have, please bring in to Mr. Jeffries so we can get copies of it?
Well, I can give you my comments right here with the dates, if you care to go back and look at your old footage.
Yes,
of
that-
the
excellent,
recordings
yes.
of the council meetings.
Well, I just wouldn't wanna take your original if it was, near to your
That's
heart.
fine. And, I mean,
But-
I'll let you know that I got this from the library system because I had long deleted the one that the city, or thrown away the printed
Mm-hmm.
publication that the city puts in our PO boxes. But I
Yep.
requested this from the library to get that.
Yes.
So, Mr. Jeffries, I'll.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matthews, be
Thank
happy
you,
to.
sir.
And Ms.
I'll bring
Keefe,
that
thank-
paper that I've got. I have to search for it, but I do have it, so
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
I will
Thank
bring
you.
it up.
Yeah, and it's a good time now to do it, not
Yeah.
after the project
Well, that's
is
what I
underway.
thought, and I
Yes.
thought I'd let you get past January before, bring this up while it's still early.
Yeah,
Thank you, thank you.
thank you.
You need anything else from me?
I don't think so.
All right.
We will dig into it and,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
obvious that should be paved
Yeah,
along with
yes.
everything else.
Thank you. Okay, I'll leave and have dinner now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh, good thing we'll have equipment in town here. Oh,
That'll help.
yeah. Anybody else wish to speak?
No one else has signed up for this evening.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda, the minutes from the regular city council meeting, January 16th, 2024. Claims, payroll number 2 in the amount of $15,070.69. Payroll number 1 in the amount of $2,350. Accounts payable number 1 in the amount of $10,272.94. Accounts payable number 2 for $1.65. Accounts payable number 3 for the amount of $2,989.74 for a total of $30,685.02. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Consent agenda is approved. On to business. Yes, we have parcel ID numbers. I love these.
I did that just for you.
Excellent. Item A, resolution 24-14 authorizing conveyance of real estate to Jennifer Reyes. Is that correct, Mr. Jeffries?
It is.
And Christopher Erickson. The city had previously undertaken efforts to convey a certain property, namely parcel identification number 115-0045-00010 and parcel identification number 115-0045-0021 from the city of Buhl to a private party. Ultimately, circumstances resulted in these private individuals being unable to develop the properties in question, and they reverted back to the city ownership and control. Subsequently, these properties are desired to be acquired by another private by other private individuals. In order to transfer the ownership of these lots to their purchaser, a warranty deed must be drawn up and accompanied by resolutions authorizing the conveyance of the real estate and attesting the same. A warranty deed has been prepared to execute the transfer of these properties to the interested private individuals. Recommendation is to approve. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 24-14 authorizing the conveyance of parcel number 115-0045-00040 and parcel number 115-0045-00051 to Jennifer Reyes and Christopher Erickson? Did I get the numbers right?
Well, you read them right, but they're,
Nah, I'll correct it.
okay.
There, yeah.
It's the resolution is correct, the motion is correct.
Oh,
The
okay.
motion is, okay. I'll motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion. Hearing none. Mr. Jeffries, being this a resolution, will you please take the roll?
Counselor Hadrava,
Yes.
Counselor Keeley,
Yes.
Counselor Loeffler,
Yes.
Counselor Towner,
Yes.
Mayor Carter.
Yes.
Motion prevails and is so carried.
Thank you, sir. Item B, Resolution 24-15 approving the conveyance of real estate to Jennifer Reyes and Christopher Erickson. The city had previously undertaken efforts to convey certain property, namely parcel identification number 115-0045-00010 and parcel identification number 115-0045-0021 from the city of Buhl to a private party. This property conveyance was authorized through the adoption of Resolution 24-14. In order to complete the transfer of ownership of these lots to their purchaser, the warranty deed must be accompanied by a resolution attesting the authorization of conveyance of the said real estate. Do we have a motion to accept and approve Resolution 24-15, attesting the adoption of Resolution 24-14, authorizing the conveyance of parcel number 115-0045-00040 and parcel number 115-0045-00051 to Jennifer Reyes and Christopher Erickson?
I'll motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion. Hearing none. Mr. Jeffries, being this a resolution, please take the roll.
Counselor Hadrava,
Yes.
Counselor Keeley,
Yes.
Counselor Loeffler,
Yes.
Counselor Towner,
Yes.
Mayor Carter.
Yes.
Motion prevails and is so carried.
Thank you, sir. I love those pin numbers. All right. Item C, Resolution 24-16, establishing the ballot board for the city of Buhl. Minnesota Statutes 203B.121, subdivision 1, requires the governing body to establish a ballot board, whose charge, among other duties, is to review and examine absentee ballots for conformity and acceptability. Select election judges will be appointed by the city's election officials to conform with this statutory requirement and other applicable election laws. Do we have a motion to approve Resolution 24-17 establishing a ballot board for the city of Buhl for the 2024 election cycle?
I'll motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you. Discussion? Mr. Jeffries, anything to add?
This will be throughout the year. We have the primary in March and then also, of course, the general election in November. It is something that should be done every election cycle, in my opinion, just renaming the ballot board because election judges will possibly change and or there won't necessarily be a presidential primary every election cycle.
Agreed. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Jeffries, being this a resolution, please take the roll.
Counselor Hadrava,
Yes.
Counselor Keeley,
Yes.
Counselor Loeffler,
Yes.
Counselor Towner,
Yes.
Mayor Carter.
Yes.
Motion prevails and is so carried.
Thank you, sir. Item D, approval of invoice for professional services. Invoice number 26 for citywide infrastructure improvement project in the amount of $1,245 to JPJ Engineering. The city has been invoiced for construction management services performed by JPJ for the citywide infrastructure project. This invoice is related to services rendered for the invoice period of October 9th through October 9th through November 6th, 2023, and includes services related to the project punch list, USDA loan closeout, and Alley F reconstruction. Specifically, these charges are identified as services rendered under construction management. Of course, Mr. Jamnik is with us. Do we have a motion to approve payment of invoice number 26 for project number 19-599 to JPJ Engineering Incorporated in the amount of $1,245?
A motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion? Mr. Jamnik, do you have anything to add?
No, most of these, and like the next invoice too, I mean, that's our project representative on site doing the inspection and staking, working with the contractors, representing the city as construction management, so. It's not my time, it's, Billy was out here.
Yeah.
Ran into Billy, if you know who he was, or our survey department.
All right. Anything further? With nothing else, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion is carried. Item E, approval of invoice for professional services. Invoice number 3 for Damien Edition Phase 3 project in the amount of $7,712.21 to JPJ Engineering. The city has been invoiced for land surveying and other professional activities performed by JPJ Engineering for services related to Damien Edition Phase 3 project, the ball field development. This invoice is related to services rendered for the invoice period of September 15th through November 6th, 2023, and includes services related to the above referenced project. Specifically, these charges are identified as professional engineering services rendered under construction management and staking. Again, John is with us for any questions. Do we have a motion to approve payment of invoice number 3 for project number 22-059 to JPJ Engineering in the amount of $7,712.21?
A motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Alright, discussion. Anything else? Anything to add, John? No? Mr. Jeffries, anything to add?
Just a quick reminder that some of this work was related to putting down the property lines for each individual parcel or lot, and staking that was included with that. Plus some construction management oversight for some reprofiling of the grade up on the upper ball field side.
Thank you. Anything further? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you, everybody. Item F, approval of 2024 electric utility member dues to the Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association. The MMUA, Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association, was formed in 1931 and is a nonprofit corporation representing the interests of municipal utilities, providing a wide variety of services to its members, several of them being on the Iron Range. The MMUA represents the interests of Minnesota's 125 municipal electric utilities. Their mission is to unify, support, and serve these utilities so they can in turn improve service to their customers and communities. All of us. The city, as a municipal utility, is a long-standing member of this organization as it maintains control of municipal electric services to its residents and businesses. The MMUA has assisted its members in negotiating and securing power purchase rates from electric power producers, including investor-owned utilities. Minnesota Power, for example. Please note that membership dues for 2024 have been set at $1,413, up from $1,359 in 2023. Motion to approve membership in the Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association for 2024 in the amount of $1,413.
I'll motion.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion. This is what keeps our rates where they're at, correct?
That's correct. The contract, I think, is up for renewal in 2028 or 2029.
Excellent. I would assume worth every penny. Alright, anything further, council? Alright, with nothing more, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item G, approval of transferring the remaining balance of 2023 mining effects monies to the Damien Addition Phase 3, East Woodbridge, Seville, Jefferson Fund. 429, retroactive to 2023. Mr. Jeffries, would you like to take this?
Thank you, Mayor Carter. The city's finance manager, Diana Thronson, has indicated there are monies which were received by the city from 2023 mining effects revenue that remain after satisfying the payment of the 2021 general obligation bond debt. Finance Manager Thronson requests that this remaining balance be reallocated to Fund 429 to be utilized for eligible fund-related project expenses in that fund. That is the Woodbridge, Seville, Jefferson Fund. Diana did put a memo out together as well for this, indicating that there was $31,947 which was approved in the 2023 budget, but we actually received $42,001. So the difference there is $10,054. That's the amount of money I'd like to ask be reallocated and moved to Fund 429 because the other fund will have no further activity in it. So the request here will be to move that $10,054 to Fund 429 for Damien Phase 3, Woodbridge, Seville, Jefferson project activities, and this to be retroactive to December 31, 2023.
Thank you, sir. Do we have a motion to approve reallocating the remaining balance of the 2023 mining effects monies in the amount of $10,054 to Fund 429 for Damien Addition Phase 3, East Woodbridge, Seville, Jefferson project activities and expenses effective retroactive to December 31st, 2023.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion.
Can we add the Clinks Way into this one? Possibly?
Possibly is a great way to describe it. I think I think we ought to try and do that as best we can.
Because it seems like it should be with this project, so,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, prior, when this was constructed, Clinks Way was not back on the table, we were not aware of it. So now with what we've come up with this evening, yes, we should definitely try and include that in this.
Should we redo the motion?
We can actually just clarify it, and, well, I guess,
Or do we just?
well, right now we have a contract, if you will. John, help me out here, but we have a contract which includes Damien Phase 3, Woodbridge, Seville, Jefferson, correct? So perhaps it's simpler to just add, let's add a clause to the motion that says after Jefferson, that'll be and or Clinks Way project activities. Would that be amenable to you, Councillor Loeffler, as part of your motion?
Yes.
And for your support, Councillor Drava?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll clarify that in the final motion.
Excellent. Anything further? With nothing more, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Motion is carried. Thank you.
Mayor Carter, before you move on,
Yes, sir.
Engineer Jamnik, John, that being done now, could you please put that into part of the
Yeah.
absolute beginning activities when Woodbridge and everything else comes in? Thank you.
Basically, we would prepare a change order to formally approve it by the contractor.
Excellent. All right, item H. Consider the Hideaway street closing request for February 10th, 2024. The Hideaway, in conjunction with Tom and Jerry's Bar of Chisholm, has scheduled the 2024 Vintage Snowmobile Ride for ALS. Hopefully it snows. Holy smokes. Scheduled for Saturday, February 10th, 2024. This is an annual event sponsored by the Hideaway. The event will be held on State Street and Jones Avenue in the vicinity of the Hideaway and Curling Club. Nora has requested to have a portion of State Street and Jones Avenue closed from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. An additional request is to rent the Curling Club to host a meal and raffle on the same day. No alcohol will be served outside at this event. A flyer advertising the event and map of the requested street closing locations is attached. Obviously, we have a long history between our businesses in town and the city of working together for events like this. Do we have a motion that the city grant the request of Nora and the Hideaway to close those portions of State Street and Jones Avenue west of Forest Street and south of Jones Avenue from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. on February 10th, 2024, and to barricade and assist with traffic control.
All motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll say. Oh,
Go ahead.
That guy.
Thank you, sir. Discussion.
So, I know that she came to us and asked if she could rent us up from us, and we're like, well, no, you would rent from the city. But the curling club is going to be part of this event because they're asking us to be down there when the club is open. So we will be down there, the club
Okay.
members, somebody. So that's totally up to you if you guys are gonna rent it or not, because we wouldn't take the rent, because it's not our building. So, but we did okay that they, and the reason why is because they got such a big response because this is an ALS. And they have so many, I guess, baskets, and there just isn't enough room for all the raffles and people. So, that's why they have to come to the curling club, which makes sense, you're using a building that can be used, so.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful.
Nora has put in a great, a good amount of time on this, and I guess it's overwhelming is what the word is. So, it's up to you guys with the rent, I mean, because the curling club can't rent it out.
Right. But at this point, we have not yet determined whether we're actually going to charge anything for that or not.
Okay, I told her she had to come to you guys because that's not our forte.
Probably
But they-
contact her tomorrow after this action happens, and knowing how important of an event this is, we may try to just be very good citizens and,
Being that's the 10th, should we have that discussion right here, right now? I propose, being the event that it is, we
Saturday.
yeah, we don't bill them rent.
that's going to be my suggestion.
I agree.
You know what?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, considering what, yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't see the curling club mentioned on here, but when I've seen on Facebook, I thought it said that they were partnering with the curling club.
Well, they are because
So-
usually you don't give the curling club out during the month of January, February, March. So they
Right.
came to us asking if they could use, if we would be part of it for our part, you know, because we'll be there watching the club and making sure that things go okay down there. And we also will have our liquor license going of beer and wine. So, yes,
Though- and-
we'll be part of it, but
Those proceeds will go to the club?
those proceeds.
Good.
But all the stuff like the tips and all that, we will give to ALS.
Okay.
So.
But, so the
two-
club can,
They
can
can
make a
benefit,
gain
but
off
that's
of it.
not what, it's more to help her out to give
Yeah.
her space.
absolutely.
And then we'll be working with I don't even know, the kitchen will be used, but not with the curling club people, but we'll be there to watch the curling club kitchen, so.
I mean, I don't see it as any different than the curling club using it if you guys are partnering on the event, so yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
charge you guys any extra
No.
based on the number of
But I
events.
didn't, this isn't ordinary to give somebody else the club during curling season. That's why I think this has all come up here, so,
Yeah,
plus to close the roads. It makes sense.
Yeah.
well, it's for a great cause.
Mayor Carter,
Right.
before you go on.
Yes, sir.
I will say that, like many other things with the weather, there is a change in schedule. And here is the new schedule. It's all still gonna happen, but it's gonna be more here in town than a ride to Chisholm.
They're still hoping for people to trailer in. They're still hoping for a big amount of people coming into town, so.
Oh, people will show even without their snowmobiles too.
And even anybody can come down to the curling club and buy the raffle tickets. Anybody can.
Yeah.
So, and come downtown and watch, look at the sleds and enjoy this event.
I think the biggest effect the weather will have, it makes it harder to ride to Jim, or to Tom and Jerry's. who's also
I don't know if they'll be able to at all.
And, yeah, I don't think they can, so.
We could
kinda-
go out on the pit and cruise around.
Yeah, I don't think,
And with those sleds, that's about as far as you want to go,
That thing ain't froze yet.
isn't it?
Well, it looks froze. I wouldn't go out there too far. No, no.
Don't be sending
Sorry.
people out there.
No,
Don't go in the pits.
Don't go on the
Like the
pit.
Rob
No.
said.
I
Me and
seen,
my,
I
me and
seen
my
people,
boy
I seen
punched a
people.
couple
Oh,
holes
did you?
close to shore and I would not go.
I seen four-wheeler tracks out there, that's all I know. But don't go out there that.
Yeah, don't go out there. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think the weather's gonna cooperate, but we can still do what we can. I think if council's in agreeance, we don't bill for renting the building. Alright. We have a motion and a second, obviously, right? Alright. Anything further? No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. That is this Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Excellent. I might actually be off work. No. Basketball tournament. Alright. Any other business? Mr. Jeffries?
I would just like to remind everybody under other business, the next meeting will be Thursday, February 15th. It will be our working session. So please put that on your agenda or on your mind if you'd like to be part of that.
what time was that at?
6 o'clock.
6, okay,
I'm sorry, 6:30.
6:30, regular meeting time, okay.
Darn it, I will not be able to make it. Well, I'll see if I can. I teach Zumba on Thursday.
Ooh,
And it's
exciting.
at a different atmosphere fit.
All right, moving on to councilors' comments. Would anybody like to take the lead?
I have a couple kind of scribble notes here. Did we get anything back from the water test from Mr. Lamoureux?
Lamoureux.
Mr. Lamoureux has been informed as to proper flushing procedures, and it was done. My understanding is that everything is satisfactory at this point.
Perfect. Okay,
So there will be no water tests at this point.
okay. Well, that's what was a suggestion. Turn it all on, full bore. Yeah, okay. Then, I was gonna bring up the vintage ride, that was done. The EMT firefighter, bond spill, and everything goes to EMT and firefighters is going to be, I believe, February 24th, the last weekend of February at the club. They're working on getting teams right now. It's filling, so that's another fundraiser for some really good reasons. So, that's available. The utility rates, I'm sure everybody's going to see went up, just a reminder. That, because I am a utility clerk and I know that you get the calls as to why my bill is more, it's because our utility rates just went up, so, in town here. I had one other thing. Oh, how are we doing with election judges? Are we still looking for election judges?
We will always consider more folks, but I think we have approximately 10 at the moment, at least 10 that possibly can make it. So, come on in and come on and do it. We have training scheduled for tomorrow morning, which is kind of short notice for anybody new, but we have a second training late in the month of February.
And we're
also.
party balanced? Yep. And then.
Is that, sorry, that's a requirement,
It's
is
a
it not?
requirement,
Okay.
yes. Yes, it is a requirement. And then, I just wanna say, I've been taking a couple rides around town, so I'm hoping that we're gonna be gearing up for some blight, blight watches, because some of these yards are starting to look pretty bad. And I think we need to take a little bit more pride in our yards, and I hope that when we be in our working session, we can talk about possibly what we're gonna do about it. Because anybody in here and anybody that walks around town will see what's going on. I took another ride tonight again, and we need to get it under control. And then the last thing, we have our other big bond spill still happening in town. We're fighting the elements of the club though. Between the road issue, we're struggling to keep that water off of our sheet. And then the heat for the plant is an issue, but so far it's a go, and it's a big one, and it's a great one for the town, so. That's the 15th and 16th of March.
Both the Blarney.
Blarney, so.
The infamous.
Huh?
The infamous.
Yeah, I know. But that was all I had.
Thank you.
Novel.
You came prepared.
Well, I think of things, and really the biggest thing was the blight, and I know sure you're shaking your head, and honest to God, if you guys ride around
I walk
town, it
around
seems
town.
to
I
be
see it
getting
every
worse.
It's terrible,
There's
in some
a-
yards.
Yeah,
terrible.
so I really hope we can do a few things this year.
You're saying the spring cleanup will be a busy week?
I
More
need
than
it more
spring
like a
cleanup.
month.
Yeah.
You need large pieces to clean up some of the garbage. It's bad.
All right. Council, the floor is yours.
I just have a quick question. When I go out on the ice this weekend, should I wear a life jacket or?
Don't be throwing me under the bus, no.
No, I'm good.
No, I actually haven't been out there. I just seen tracks and called like I saw it, but okay, as long as you've been out to check the ice and said don't do it, then don't do it.
We went out in the,
I see people on foot.
well, we went out in the west landing
Oh, okay.
in that bay.
Yep.
And just fished in that bay. And, I don't know, 10 inches of ice. I would highly recommend not going into the middle of that lake. That's just my opinion.
What's going on this weekend, Randy?
Well, by the time the video posts, it'll be like that same day, so I just figured I'd leave it. But the Winter Frolic is Friday night at 5:30. Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, 5:30 at the skate shack. We have been thinking about event or games and stuff to play, whether it's cold or warm, so we shouldn't have to cancel for the weather, assuming it's not something horrifically historical. But no, there'll be fire there for s'mores. We'll have hot chocolate, hot cider. We're gonna play boot hockey, so we can play on snow or on ice or on grass, whatever's there that day. And a couple other games in the works. So it should be fun if you can make it out.
Awesome.
Ready?
Thank you.
We just had the cookie decorating class on Sunday. It was a lot of fun. Brianna, I cannot remember her last name. It starts with a T. She did it, and it was a lot of fun. Good turnout. And the next class that we're going to do is on March 2nd. It's watercolor painting. Is that correct? And I'll be at the Senior Center on March 2nd. And I believe the times, I'm not 100% sure. We booked it, I think, from 12 to 4, but I think that it's probably like 1 to 2 or 3, I guess. I don't know.
On the 4th?
On the 4th of March.
Okay.
No, is that a Saturday? There's a Saturday. Maybe it was the 2nd, March 2nd.
You guys
March
have-
2nd is.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, March 2nd.
Second.
The 4th was when we had the
Look at
cookie.
your calendar.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
behind the month.
I am.
Mary on that day?
What's that?
Last time I came in, I was behind a year.
No, we only have to be open for City Hall. Never mind.
I think it's,
That Saturday, we have to be open for City Hall. Never mind. For absentee voting,
oh,
City Hall has to be open. I knew something else with City Hall was going on that day.
Anything else, Renee?
Nope, that's all I have.
Thank you.
That sounds fun.
Got anything today, Mr.
No.
Vidrava? No?
Stay off the ice.
Say, yeah, watch the ice. My comments are get out and enjoy it. We don't get weather
The
like
ice or
this.
the weather?
Be mindful of the ice. Get out and enjoy the outdoors right now. It's beautiful. We don't have mosquitoes. I heard there may be wood ticks out, which is kind of.
What?
I heard that
You
today.
got sweaters on?
I don't know, but get out, enjoy the outdoors. It's a wonderful time of year right now. It's warm. It's amazing. That's all I got.
Okay.
We have a motion to adjourn.
No motion.
Thank you. We have a second?
Second.
Second. Anything further? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned.